Good afternoon from across the pond. So we've gone from human geography to technical geography. Now today I'm going to get into some physical geography. Now physical geography can mean one of two things. First off, it can mean you get a gang of geographers together for some bar fight action. But that's usually not the preferred way to use physical geography as a term. Physical geography typically is the study of the Earth and its processes. Topics in physical geography include, but are not limited to, volcanoes, glaciers, biogeography, which means looking at where different animal species occur, migrations within those animal species. You can look at dendrogeography. You can look at weather systems. You can look at various biomes. There's probably a ton of stuff I'm forgetting, but I'm not a physical geographer, so sue me. Today I wanted to talk about climate science, but I realized that it's been so long since I've done anything to do with climate science that I've more or less have enough holes in my memory that I couldn't really teach it to the best of my ability. So instead, I think today we are going to talk about volcanoes. My favorite volcano is the flaming volcano, but we're not going to talk about that here. Instead, we're going to get down with some downright torrid crust action. A volcano in its simplest terms is basically an opening in the earth where the contents of the earth, be it magma, ash, or whatever minerals are down there, are coming up. You get three different kinds of places where volcanoes are likely to form. First, you have divergent plate boundaries, where the earth's tectonic plates are moving away from each other. Okay, back up. What the hell's a tectonic plate, right? So, the surface of the Earth isn't one solid giant mass. It's actually a bunch of plates fitted together. Okay, so basically in the center of the Earth you've got the core. And then surrounding that you've got the mantle. Now it's all really hot. I mean like vaporize you hot. On the outer surface you've got the crust, which is what we live on. Okay, now go to your cabinet and get out a bunch of plates. You can even use fine china for this example. Now that you have your plates, arrange them in some sort of formation that you like. It doesn't matter, it can be whatever pattern you want. Move those plates around with your hands and arms on the table. Some plates should go under others, some plates should overlap others, and some plates will probably move further apart away from each other. It's hard to be lucid just talking about this stuff without diagrams, so here's a picture of the Earth's plate so you can sort of get an idea of the configuration. Where one plate goes down under the other, that's called subduction. A great example of subduction occurs at the Juan de Fuca plate, because the Juan de Fuca plate is slowly going into the North American plate, which is where you get all your volcanoes up in Washington and Vancouver and all that. In the case of plate separation, the plates are actually pulling away from each other. There's a huge trench that runs down the Atlantic Ocean in which this is happening. It's from this sort of separation that you get your Icelandic volcanoes. The third type of volcanic occurrence is called a hotspot, and there's a really great example of this in Yellowstone National Park. A hotspot is just a big pocket of underground volcanic pressure just waiting to blow. When you get a volcano, one of the main determinants of that volcano is the viscosity of the lava and the pressure with which it comes out. The first type of volcano I'm going to talk about are shield volcanoes. Shield volcanoes form because of the low viscosity of their lava. It comes out slowly and creates a broad-reaching lava flow, but generally it doesn't come out with a lot of pressure. Hawaii is basically all comprised of shield volcanoes. The next type of volcano I want to talk about is the lava dome. Now the lava dome is made out of very viscous lava. Because the lava is so viscous, it doesn't really flow very far. And so, as the name implies, a lava dome is dome-shaped. It's a big mound. Now, the simplest type of volcanic formation is the volcanic cone. A volcanic cone is established when a whole bunch of stuff just blows out of a volcanic vent and then resettles and hardens into a cone-shaped formation. If the eruptions continue to occur and they build up into a large mountainous form, that's called a stratovolcano. Mount St. Helens is a good example of a stratovolcano. And that particular stratovolcano was created by the subduction of the Juan de Fuca plate into the North American continent. Now the last kind of volcano I'm going to get into are the supervolcanoes. And if you have the History Channel or Discovery or National Geographic, you've probably seen something on these things. But for those of you still living in the Stone Age of basic broadcast television, I'll explain to you what a supervolcano is. A supervolcano usually forms around in a hot spot, like in Yellowstone, and the pressure builds up, but it can't release. So you basically have volcanic pressure building and building and building without any real significant release. The Lake Toba supervolcano is an excellent example of a supervolcano that's already gone off and has had significant impact on human life. The Lake Toba volcano went off 60,000, 70,000 years ago, and it plunged the earth into, they estimate, 6 to 10 years of volcanic winter. There's a lot of gloom and doom speculation about the Yellowstone supervolcano, which is part of the Yellowstone hotspot, and what if it erupts and what it's going to do. They estimate, that is, volcanologists estimate, that it's due for another eruption sometime soon. I'm going to stop here for today because that's pretty much everything I know about volcanoes. I'm not a physical geographer, and I haven't studied this stuff in like 3 years, so what I would encourage you to do is, people with inquiring minds, is to go find a physical geographer, meet them, befriend them, and I'm sure they will tell you about all sorts of geography stuff that you never even knew. Take care, folks, and I'll see you tomorrow.